Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. For all you, I guess, Air Force fans out there, I've got three new marathon releases for you. They basically co-branded their two Navigator watches and the Officer's Watch with a U.S. Air Force logo. It's been a really long time, I feel, since I've done a review on these watches anyway, so I figured why not bring them out again? We've got a lot of new subscribers, and everyone can check them out. Got to be careful what I show today. So I've got a SARB 033. Okay, on this is actually a strap code bracelet, and then won't show the face. This is that Islander. I've had it for a while. It's a production sample. It's a 40 millimeter diver with a nice H-link bracelet, negative end links. Really nice, really comfortable. I'm just not ready to show it yet. I'm kind of still waiting for other stuff to arrive. Let's get to the video. Okay, so three kind of new marathon watches. They're the same as the base watches, just without the U.S. Air Force logo. So Marathon went through an exercise where they provided their watches to the U.S. Air Force, and it's officially licensed with the U.S. Air Force logo. So I've got three to show you. The two Navigator watches, the only difference is no date and date. And the Officer's Watch, which is a smaller version. But a lot of them, the three of them basically run on the same movement, same details. All three of them are built to mil PRF 46374, which is basically a spec for wristwatches. So let's see, which one do you want to do first? Why don't we do the Officer's Watch first? Because it's pretty cool that they're still making small watches. Marathon's still doing the small watches when a lot of people have definitely upsized. So they've kind of never stopped, right? So we are looking at the WW194015 in the U.S. Air Force variety. So it's a 39 millimeter case. Okay, try to grab a diameter on it. It's a little bit of a funky looking watch, but 39 millimeters. It's 11 thick to a flat sapphire crystal. They do not use AR coating on their watches. It's important to note. It is 44 on the lug tip to lug tip. So even though it is a 39, you are still getting a decent amount on the lugs. So you can see the lugs stick out pretty far. Why don't we undo the strap? It is a one-piece pull-through strap. It is 16 millimeters. It's a really well-done strap, actually. It's got the Marathon logo on it, blasted hardware. But I wanted to show you the case back before we get onto the front of the watch. It's got all of, I'm going to try to see it. It's got all the writing on it. It's the U.S. Air Force insignia again is above. So you got wristwatch or watch, wrist, just like everything in the military. The terms get progressively more detailed. General purpose court with date mil PRF 46347 version G. You got the part number. It is a Tritium watch, so it's 25. It's a T25 watch. Nuclear Regulatory Commission ID number because it is radioactive material. I'm tilting it so I can see it. Yet their cage code and then a whole bunch of other stuff on it. The cage code is a commercial and government entity number. It's a 3 joule movement. Blah blah. A whole bunch of stuff on it. And they also do assign national stock numbers to their watches, which are basically used so the government can procure them because Marathon is on. As you watch me struggle with this, because Marathon is on the qualified. I can't do it with my gloves. Qualified supplier list for wristwatches. So inside is a Swiss ETA F06 movement. So they use high torque movements because the hands have these tritium vials on them that glow when the lights go down. So you need a little more torque to push them around. It also does have an end-of-life indicator. So when the battery goes dead, the seconds hand will beat in less than 1 second increments. It'll beat every 2 to 4 seconds, I believe. So you'll know when the battery is going dead. It's time to replace the battery. Water resistance on this guy is 3 atmospheres. So there's a push-pull crown. It does have a date. There you go. Let me zoom back just a bit. It's on a beautiful blasted stainless steel case. Price on this guy is $527. I believe there will be a price increase on these in beginning of January or so. But these just came out, so the increase won't be as horrendous. The watch weighs as horrendous as some of the past marathons. The watch weighs 60 grams on the strap. If I didn't mention it, the lug width of this guy is 16 millimeters. Oh, you know what? Let me go back in. I'm sorry. So you have the U.S. Air Force logo. And then you have tritium tubes at the hour markers. Tritium tubes are little glass vials filled with a radioactive gas. Inside of the glass has a phosphorescent coating. The tritium, which is an isotope of hydrogen, decays, releases a little speck of radiation, interacts, hits the phosphor on the tube. The phosphor takes that energy, converts it to visible light that you see. Greens on the 1 to 11, orange on the 12, green on the hands, and the tip of the seconds hand is conventional lume. And we'll get up to that when we do the lume shot in a minute. So let's move on to the Navigator. Again, there's two Navigators. The only difference is this one's got a date, this one doesn't. So the date's between the 4 and the 5. But they are both identical watches. So WW194 001, 194 013. And of course, they're both the U.S. Air Force varieties. So this is a 41 millimeter case. It's a larger case. It is 13 thick to a flat sapphire crystal. Marathon changed the crystal on all the Navigators to sapphire a couple of years back. It is 47.5 on the lug tip to lug tip. I did not mention it on the other one. I should mention it, even though you see the bar for the pin going through. You cannot remove. They are not spring pins. You cannot remove them. They are permanent. So if you replace the strap, you need to use a one-piece pass-through strap. It's a 20 millimeter strap, water resistant to 6 atmospheres. The bezel itself runs on the same ETA F06 movement, that high torque movement. The bezel itself is bidirectional, so it's used for dual timing. If you wanted to know the time 1 hour ahead, 2 hour ahead, 3 hour ahead, whatever, you just set the watch and you read the time off of the bezel as opposed to the second, as opposed to the time zone, the times on the dial, you read the time off the bezel. So a pretty cool way to do things. So this guy is, get to the price, $383 without date, $400 with date. The case itself is, they call it fiber shell. It's basically a chopped fiber reinforced plastic. We like to use the fancy term composite, but it makes the watch very lightweight. It's 55 grams. Take into account that the movement is probably well more than half of that weight. It does use the same tubes that I discussed in the other watch, and it does have the same Air Force logo. On this guy, they made a change to these a while back. I can see it, and I'm just going to pop this up. For battery changes on this one, because the case is large enough, it's a hatch. I'm just going to pop that back. So you can see right there, it's like a little quarter turn fastener. You put a nickel in there, whatever you want, and you turn it, and the battery comes right out. So easy battery changes. You don't have to open the watch and expose the movement to the element. So pretty cool they did that, because I know a lot of people with quartz, the big thing is, I got to open it up and change the battery. Well, this, you don't have to. Just easy turn, out, in, done. Why don't we let's do lume, and then we'll do a wrist. So there it is. You have to get very low light to see the tritium, but tritium glows extremely well when your eyes are adjusted to the dark. You can see the orange spot at noon, and then the green all the way around. People get very confused with tritium. They think it should glow like a flashlight, like superluminova does when you bring it in from the outside. It does not. Tritium's beauty is that it glows for 10 to 20 years without any input from any light source. So here it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Looks good. 44 on the lug tip to lug tip. 39 millimeters on the diameter. It's a great looking watch, feels great, fits great, very comfortable. There I am on the strap, and what I noticed as I crack my wrist in half is if you look at the keepers, the top keeper is actually thinner than the bottom keeper, such that you can loop the excess down easier through that keeper. I don't think you're going to get the excess through this one. So it's kind of nice they did a little design detail. I think it's pretty cool, but Looks great. Here is that Navigator watch. Looks and feels perfect. Super light due to that composite case. Looks good. There I am on the strap on this guy. Definitely at home on many wrists. Very popular watch, and perhaps even more popular, or maybe a niche market with the U.S. Air Force. My father was in the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force, honorably discharged sometime in the mid 60s. But if you or someone you know was in the Air Force, definitely make an awesome present. I think that's going to wrap it up. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you count them, three kind of new marathon watches. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe channel if you've not done so. Questions or comments, put them down below and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.